For our last mini lesson in slope, we're going to look at finding the slope from a table of values. So for grade 10, this should be a review from grade 9, but we'll go over all of this so you guys have a bit of a connection between the 2 years, I hope. Now, anytime we have time, this is always going to be my domain value. And our domain values are always our horizontal, right? So those represent my x values. And then my range values, which are my vertical values, are going to represent my y values. Now in this case, they're t's and d's, but we're going to think of them as x and y's so that when we do our slope, you guys have the same language every single time. So now, as I go up horizontally, as I increase horizontally, this is going to be plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. So my change horizontally is 5 every time. Now my change vertically is 0.9, so plus 0.9, plus 0.9, plus 0.9. Those numbers are a little bit more awkward to work with. It doesn't matter, to form a linear equation, this rate of change needs to be exactly the same all the time. So no matter which two numbers I pick, the difference between those two numbers and these two numbers needs to be the same. If I jumped 4 steps here and 4 steps here, my difference still needs to be the same. It still needs to reduce to 0.9 over 5. So if I wanted to use my whole numbers, I could pick this first point, 0, 0, as my x1, y1, x1, y1. And I could pick my last point, because those are both whole numbers, as my x2, y2. Then when I go back to my slope equation, it's going to be 9 minus 0 all over 50 minus 0, which is 9 over 50. And if I reduce that, that would be the same as 0.9 over 5. Divide top and bottom by 10, we get 0.9 over 5. So we don't like to use decimals if we can help it in our slope calculations. We usually like to have whole numbers. So when we start creating equations in our next unit, you guys will be able to use whole number slopes as opposed to decimals or decimal and fractional slopes. And now I can graph this. I only need 2 points to graph a line. I know I have the point 0, 0. I know I have the point 59. So those are the only 2 points I'm going to use. And then I'm going to connect those two with a straight line. Okay, we'll throw some arrows on the end there for there we go. Technically, actually, we're not going back that way. So we'll erase that arrow there. We're starting at 0 and we're going up. Okay, so there's our graph for our speed.